trades or agriculture or construction, they're allowed a certain exception, from their banks. So you write to the bank, they do a risk profiling, and then they notify Bank of Uganda, and you are treated as an exception. So you're given the match sums of money you need to go and trade in the outskirts where such restrictions are. Now,
from the Bank of Uganda's policy desk to the boardrooms of commercial banks to the fintech platforms reshaping how money moves, one thing remains clear. Uganda's journey towards a cashless economy isn't a question of it.
Are banks prepared for an unexpected increase in digital transactions?
Yeah, banks have invested heavily in the digital infrastructure, things like RTGS, EFTs, bank to wallet. They have also gone ahead to collaborate with mobile money transactions. For example, I can totally move money from my MTN wallet to the bank, and the reverse is true. So they've put heavy infrastructure in place to facilitate such digitization, but then they have not yet spread out countrywide, and there are places I go to. For example, I recently traveled to Mutukula, the border, where there is heavy transactions, and the banking limits are really there, and then the network problems and everything. So in as much as they have invested heavily, they would still need to invest even more to make sure that they reach the hard-to-reach areas if they are going to benefit from this entire process.
It is a question of how fast and how fairly. The countdown to January 2027 has begun.
Thank you so much for being part of this discussion here on Business Perspective. We value your feedback. Reach out to us across all socials as we wind up this financial year. Talk to us and tell us what it is your experience has been thus far and what, of course, you look forward to in the new financial year. I will catch up with you as we enter the new financial year. I am your favorite business host, Isabella. God bless.
NBS. Always. Up next. Brought to you by Boomchakala is back with double energy. Grab a rock boom or silverback energy. Check under the cap. What you see is what you win. Rock boom. Energy for winners. NBS Live at 9.
All right, look, there is a very interesting case that has taken more than a year, and this is the case of Dr. Kano Chiza Besigye right there. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we've seen his lawyers being taken away. Number one, we have seen Martha Karua being deported and not allowed to be part of the lead counsels. And now, Elias Lukwago, who has been accused of misprision to treason, which means that he cannot represent Dr. Kano Chiza Besigye as things stand. But now, we have a new development.
A very big number has come up, actually. 40 lawyers have been added to beef up the team ahead of tomorrow's proceedings, of course.
What does that regrouping mean of the 40 lawyers? We have details of that and much more coming up here on NBS Live at 9. But first, the headlines.
These are your headlines. Besigye's legal team boosted as 40 lawyers move to represent opposition leader ahead of tomorrow's session. Lukwago remains admitted at Mulago Hospital. Will his medical condition allow him to attend tomorrow's court session?
Those who want information about Mulago should wait for court.
Where is Miriam Matembe? Uganda Law Society demands her immediate release or prosecution before a competent court.
I've never seen, I've not even heard anything.
unresolved murders. 8 years later, police have not found the killers of Ibrahim Abiriga.
Up now, they have not given us any information about it.
It shows that we have grown as a country.
And Uganda's success story in managing Ebola. What the latest outbreak presents for future management of outbreaks.
Put out the results from genomic sequencing within 48 hours.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Victoria Sibia, Samson Kasumba, and Kanari Mugume.
Welcome to NBS Live at 9. Now, the legal battle surrounding the detention of veteran opposition leader Dr. Kano Chiza Besigye and his co-accused Haj Obed Lutare is intensifying despite the forced absence of two of the most prominent senior counsels, Martha Karua and Elias Lukwago. A massive coalition of defense lawyers has regrouped to beef up their legal strategy ahead of tomorrow's critical court appearance.
The legal team representing Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haj Obed Lutale is not backing down. Facing what they describe as deliberate state frustration, a formidable coalition of about 40 lawyers from 20 different law firms has unified to take over the defense. This major legal regrouping comes amidst severe constraints. Two of the defense leading legal minds are currently out of the picture.
It's true we have instructions and we are about 20 law firms that were instructed by our clients, Dr. Chiza Besigye and Haj Lutale. We had an opportunity to discuss with Dr. Besigye and Lutale on Friday. We still have instructions, but we await further guidance from the senior counsel Karua, and our clients will give us a go-ahead. But as we stand today, we are ready for court tomorrow.
Kenyan senior counsel Martha Karua was recently deported while former Kampala Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago remains incarcerated. Speaking to the press, the defense team confirmed that despite the hurdles, their mandate remains absolute.
Now we still have instructions unless they are turned down.
The lawyers revealed that both Besigye and Lutale have expressed deep concern over the deportation of Karua and the imprisonment of Lukwago, moves the defense views as a calculated plot to paralyze their legal capacity.
It was deliberate for them to actually fix the matter of the Honorable Elias Lukwago together with the matter of Dr. Besigye to frustrate the legal team. No, but we are many law firms. We are about 20 law firms. We are about 40 lawyers. Even if the two senior counsel, Martha and counsel Elias, are not part, we shall divide ourselves and we shall represent both people in court tomorrow.
However, the team is already striking back. They're launching a fresh application against the military for the enforcement of their clients' human rights. A key point of contention remains a scheduled reconciliation on who exactly holds the right to represent the accused following a lawsuit filed by the clans against specific military officers. As the hours tick down Tuesday's session, it remains highly uncertain what the aftermath of the application against a military officer will deliver and how the accused persons will move ahead.
The Uganda prison spokesperson, Frank Beine, says anyone seeking clarification or raising concerns about the health condition of former Kampala Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago should wait for an official response when Lukwago is brought before court. Baine's remarks came after Lukwago's lawyers raised concerns in court, claiming their client was in poor health, which led to his transfer to Mulago National Referral Hospital for medical attention. However, questions remain among the public about his current health status. Lukwago, who is facing charges of misprision of treason, was reportedly taken into custody by security personnel on the 15th of June 2026.
Those who want information about Mulago should wait for court, because court asked for a report and the report is being done. So don't preempt the work of the medical team.
Concerns over the whereabouts and welfare of former Ethics and Integrity Minister Media Matembe have prompted the Uganda Law Society to intervene. The law body is demanding that security agencies either release or produce her before a competent court. The lawyers argue that if Matembe is being held over any alleged offense, her constitutional rights, including access to legal representation, family and medical care, must be respected.
Uganda Law Society has called on security agencies to immediately disclose the whereabouts of former Ethics and Integrity Minister Miriam Matembe, demanding that she is either released or produced in court. The intervention follows instructions from Matembe's husband, Nekemia Matembe, who asked the Law Society to ensure that her constitutional rights are protected following her recent arrest. According to the Uganda Law Society, Matembe is entitled to the protections guaranteed under Uganda's constitution, including access to legal representation, family members, and medical attention while in custody.
Of course, the concern is, number one, her well-being. No one knows where she is. No one knows what she could be going through. If she's suspected of having committed an offense, this offense has not been communicated. And we are saying this is unconstitutional. It breaches the very basic principles. You cannot deny someone their personal liberty unreasonably.
The society further argues that if Matembe has committed an offense, she should be detained only in a lawful gazetted detention facility and presented before court within the constitutional 48-hour limit rather than being held incommunicado.
If you're to detain someone, even if you suspect them for having committed an offense, and now speaking as her lawyers, as her legal representative, number one, she must be held in a lawful place. Right now, we are not sure where she's being detained. Secondly, she cannot be detained in a place where she doesn't have access. No one should be denied access to the lawyers, the family, and the doctors. And this is what is happening. We are not aware. The family is here, they are not aware of where she is. And again, similarly, she should not be detained for more than 48 hours.
The society has since written to the Criminal Investigations Directorate and the Uganda Police Force seeking clarification on the circumstances of Matembe's arrest, the reasons for her continued detention, and her current place of custody.
We've written to the the IGP, to the Director CID, and the Chief of Defense Head Legal Affairs, Mr. Moses Wandera. And we are saying, if you're holding Miriam Matembe for whatever reason, number one, you don't even have to wait for the 48 hours. She's entitled to bond, even if she's suspected of having committed an offense. She must be allowed immediate access to the lawyers who are here. Allow her access us. The Uganda Society is here to represent her. The family is here. They are not aware. She's of old age. And, you know, that she's supposed to be seeing her doctors.
Oh, Victoria, that's quite an interesting case.
Absolutely.
For a very long time, we've not seen people of the calibers of Miriam Matembe being arrested.
A very
and
big
not
question that
court.
is being asked exactly, where is she? But also, we are seeing lawyers in solidarity. The nationwide Lawyers Industrial Action entered its second working day, leaving courts across the country largely deserted and police and prisons struggling to process suspects. A spot check by NBS Television found several courts in Kampala under lock and key, with litigants left stranded as they waited in vain for their cases to be heard. The striking lawyers, backed by the Shadow Attorney General, insist they will maintain the sit-down strike until their concerns over the safety and independence of the legal profession are addressed.
Nakawa Chief Magistrate's Court is usually a hive of activity on weekdays, with police trucks and prison vans ferrying suspects in and out for prosecution. But on the second working day of the lawyers' industrial action, the picture was strikingly different. The courtrooms, which are ordinarily open to the lawyers, litigants and members of the public, remained under lock and key. Clients whose cases had been scheduled for hearing sat outside under the tree, uncertain about when or whether the proceedings would resume.
I'm here waiting for the counsel. He has not yet come, but I'm still waiting for him.
By 10 a.m., some litigants still held on to hope that their lawyers would eventually turn up later in the day. The situation was not different at Mwanga 2 Road Court, where dozens of court users waited outside. At Buganda Road Court, business was only partially disrupted. A handful of lawyers reported for duty, allowing a limited number of cases to proceed, although the normally busy court corridors remained unusually quiet.
We went into court and the judge gave us the good feeling in court we had a prisoner here who is my uncle, so he was given a bail. Yeah, he was given a bail. We didn't have like a very difficult process in getting the bail and all that.
The industrial action follows a series of events that lawyers said demonstrates growing intimidation of members of the legal profession. These include the arrest of lawyer Elias Lukwago, the blocking of Kenyan lawyer Martha Karua from entering Uganda, as well as what they described as arbitrary arrest and prosecution targeting lawyers. Abdallah Chwanuka, the Shadow Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, has thrown his weight behind the striking lawyers.
We only call upon lawyers to stand their ground. Because many people, of course, the economy is not also good, not only to the general public, but also to lawyers. Some cannot afford to say that, no, I cannot go to court. But once we stand our ground, once even the masses stand their ground and they say enough is enough, we can end this tyranny which is being subjected onto us by the regime.
Now, keeping with the same story, justice came to a standstill at Tororo Chief Magistrate Court after the ongoing nationwide lawyer strike brought court proceedings to a near halt. Families seeking justice for their loved ones were left stranded, with some waiting for hours without any information on whether their cases would be heard.
This was the scene at Tororo Chief Magistrate's Court today. The usually busy court compound, often filled to capacity with people attending hearings involving their loved ones, was unusually quiet. Only a handful of people could be seen waiting outside. According to sources, the silence is as a result of the ongoing nationwide lawyer strike. Lawyers are protesting alleged human rights violations, torture and the abduction of political figures. The industrial action has disrupted court proceedings, leaving many people stranded and uncertain about the fate of their cases. Among them is this family from Mbale district. Their relative, a driver, has been detained at Tororo Central Police Station since Tuesday last week for allegedly misusing a vehicle belonging to Novo Enterprises. Since then, he has remained in police custody without appearing before court.
Still, we went back on Wednesday, we came back. They say you wait in the evening. Still, when the evening reached, they said these things are too hard for us. We went back. We came back on a Thursday. Even until on a Friday we came back, that's when they told us, you prepare on a Monday to go to court.
Today, the family arrived at court as early as 7 a.m. But by 1 p.m., they still had no information on whether their relative would appear before the magistrate.
No one is attending to us and no one is coming up to tell us the truth.
This family is not alone. Several other people who declined to appear on camera said they have spent huge amounts of money traveling between the police station and the court in search of justice for their loved ones, but without success. Despite the strike, Tororo Central Police insist that their work has not been affected, saying they continue to produce suspects before court whenever possible.
I may not be readily give you the statistics of the suspects taken today, basically in Tororo, but possibly about to 5.
On allegations of detaining suspects beyond the mandatory 48-hour, police say it is never their intention to do so. They explain that delays sometimes occur when investigations are incomplete or case files are not yet ready for prosecution.
Once a report is generated, sometimes the suspects are elusive, so it entails a lot of work to be done, tracking, having the suspect arrested.
As the lawyers' strike continues, residents of Tororo are appealing to the government to urgently engage the lawyers in dialogue so that court operations can resume and access to justice can be restored.
Now let's move to the West with the same story. Now lawyers in Barara have reaffirmed their commitment to the ongoing lawyers' strike following an announcement last week by the Uganda Law Society. According to advocates that subscribe to the society, clients are aware of the strike, and until the cause of human rights violations is addressed and more of their concerns, including the latest Elias Lukwago case, the strike will carry on. Police say they are not affected by the strike.
At the Mbarara High Court premises, it's not business as usual, as noticeable advocates did not turn up for legal proceedings. Despite court appearing open for operations, inside courtrooms remain empty, with relatives of suspects and accused taking rest. Speaking to NBS TV, Joshua Tumukunde, an advocate and head lawyer of the National Unity Platform, NUP, in Western Region, said over 100 advocates that subscribe to the Uganda Law Society are on strike.
Actually, in Mbarara, 80% of advocates are on strike.
Tumukunde notes that clients are aware, and due to the strike, adjournments were made, which they are in terms with.
Our clients are aware of what is going on. We talked to them. We said, however much we are representing you, but also we have to be concerned about our fellow advocates, our fellow lawyers. So they know we adjourned our matters.
But some lawyers that didn't want to appear on our cameras say they were not aware of the strike. Tumukunde, however, notes that some of the lawyers that do not subscribe to the society are seemingly operating, calling them to join the cause.
Those few who are not in strike, also they will get to know, and they will actually, because we have others who are actually joining us, who have seen and even who are seeing what is going on, and are apologizing and even joining us.
Connery, I don't know if you've ever seen such solidarity among lawyers from different places altogether. It is quite a thing to watch.
I think it happened in the 1970s.
Well, it's 2026. We're seeing it again.
Yeah. The situation seen in the court today may be different tomorrow as Uganda Law Society lifts the marching order. This as the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, Anthony Asimwe, urged lawyers to return to court.
As we speak right now, the initial marching orders talked or commanded or demanded that every lawyer on the 26th of June, that was on Friday, should not go to court. And indeed, no lawyer went to court that day. If you visited the court halls, the courtrooms, they were completely empty because they followed the marching orders. The other activities we are having are continuous activities in actualization of the objectives we want to achieve. Right now, as I speak, the Secretariat in itself is not physically open for members. We are running most of our activities online of station. Also, we realize, we take note that our services are required by the members of the public. We don't want to do it in such a way that other people's rights or aspects are affected, but the strike is still on, and we will still continue to communicate the various activities we will conduct or the various things we do on different days until we achieve our objective.
Well, let's take a look at the impact of that strike on the delivery of justice. And now joining us tonight is Kato Tumsime, who is an advocate of the High Court, to throw some perspective on that. Kato, many thanks for joining us tonight. The Uganda Law Society Vice President is calling on lawyers to return to court while the Shade attorney wants the strike to go on. How can this confusion be resolved? Which one, you as lawyers, are you going for?
Yeah, yes, however much you have been participating in the boycott and the strike, you see even today I'm not officially dressed to represent people in courts. It's because that we have demands that must be respected and answered with the support of the judiciary, where we all participate and practice our profession. But even that the clients we represent and every Ugandan to understand that we are not punishing them in terms of not appearing to represent them, but we want to fight for our safety first as the lawyers, to have an environment that is accommodative for us to prepare and be able to represent them. Because if we are at risk and cannot be helped by the judiciary that we work with as its officers, then the clients themselves cannot be helped. But to say that the confusion, it's not a confusion, people will take options on where to fall, because some of us believe that unless the exceptions that concern human rights violation that we must respond to timely, the other action to the strike should remain on until the judiciary comes up to help and stand with the lawyers.
All right, so the strike is on apart from the few exceptions on the response towards human rights cases?
Yes.
All right, so I also want to understand, do you think that this strike has, in one way or another, created the impact you hoped for? Do you see any movement of troops inside the judiciary because of this strike?
Yes, some of them have actually expressed the interest in supporting the advocates themselves that are facing these brutal trials, arrests and kidnaps, even when they have not officially made a clear communication through their spokesperson from the judiciary. But they understand the conditions we work under, they understand the fight we are on. We are not fighting for ourselves alone, but we are also fighting for the members of the judiciary under the justice, law and order sector, because that's where we belong. If we don't fight for them now, if we don't fight for ourselves, then we have nobody to fight for us. If the lawyers cannot feel safe to represent clients, clients are not safe. Judicial officers are not safe because they also find themselves behind bars for one reason or the other. Right. And considering the impact that we have created in terms of making it difficult for justice to be dispensed, our clients have understood the call, and I call upon all lawyers to continue until our demands are answered, to fight until we overcome all this that we are going through as lawyers.
This souring relationship between the advocates and the judiciary, in the future, how do you hope this should be resolved? I mean, this can't keep on for long.
Yeah, it is about hearing the demands of the lawyers.
What are the demands?
The demands are that we must be protected as officers of court. Apart from being Ugandans and citizens, human beings, we have a purpose that we serve as lawyers in representing and extending justice to the rest of the country. So if they don't protect us as its officers, we don't feel that they can protect the other civilians or any other person that we represent in clients. Let them create an environment that is conducive for lawyers, for them to be able to practice their profession and dispense justice to others.
Let me ask, is this about Elias Lukwago after him being charged with misprision of treason? Because I've seen lawyers before being taken into custody, including even in the military court, a case of Aaron Chiza. This strike never happened. Are you being selective?
We are not being selective. That issues, anger has been escalating each and every other day, but the issue of Elias Lukwago has been the peak. And that's when we decided not to keep quiet as advocates and as lawyers, and we call upon all other Ugandans to also join this strike because it is for the better of the country. The selective application, one might take it in that way, but everything has a start. This is not the first time lawyers and advocates are striking and laying down their tools in terms of how they are being treated. We saw it when the Black Mamba attacked the High Court in Uganda and rearrested people. Advocates were clear. They put up their tools to demand for accountability for the perpetrators of these violators. And number two, to have the judiciary, the judicial officers support their cause in terms of protecting each and everyone. If a lawyer is not protected, nobody is safe. The judicial officers are not safe because at one time they would need us to represent them for whatever reason. So everything had to wait, has its time, and this was the right time and the peak before we have any other victim being taken on by whoever is participating and violating our rights as advocates.
Katoto Msime, many thanks for speaking to us tonight.
Thank you.
He's an advocate of the High Court. Now here is more to come.
More to come.
When we return from the break, the family of the late former Arua Municipality Member of Parliament, Ibrahim Abriga, continues to ask who killed their relative and why. 8 years later, no answers.
Some big stories coming up after the break, isn't it?
All right. This is NBS Live at 9. Don't touch your remote.
In 30 seconds, I'll tell you why you have until the 30th of June 2026. Fast! The 30th of June is your deadline to file your tax returns for the financial year ending 2025-2026. Don't wait! Late filing means errors, and errors mean penalties. Second, if you have an outstanding tax, pay your principal by the 30th of June 2026 and URA will give you a 100% tax waiver. No interest, no penalties, gone. File and pay now at www.ura.go.ug.
Developing Uganda together.
Life unfolds in chapters. Through many of these chapters, Jubilee has been present. But life does not happen in separate chapters, and protection should not be separate either. Two journeys have become one. Jubilee Life and Jubilee Health are now one. Here for every chapter, together for better. Jubilee Life Insurance Company of Uganda is regulated by the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
There is a new era of elegance, and it begins at your event. At Peno Events, we have upgraded with fresh, modern, stylish event pieces designed to transform any space into a masterpiece. From luxury tents to elegant furniture to premium mobile washrooms, hand wash stations, lounge sets, parasols, wooden chairs, modern chair set, banquet setup. Peno Events. Safe, reliable, stylish. Book now.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
The problem is the foundation.
Do you know the kind of cement I'm using in this foundation? I guarantee you even my grandchildren will come and find this house.
You buy your buy today and get the job done. Strong, reliable, available at hardware shops countrywide.
You will always know when you're in the presence of the finest. It's like time slows down, just enough for you to feel everything in full flavor.
Just Malt Lager. Alcohol is not for certain persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Fellow Ugandans, your parish development model SACCO belongs to you. Across the country, new elections for PDM SACCO boards are taking place to ensure transparency, accountability, and proper management of community funds. Did you know every eligible member of the parish above 18 years of age has the right to participate in choosing trustworthy leaders for their SACCO? The old boards are being replaced to strengthen governance, protect public resources, and improve service delivery to beneficiaries. After the elections, SACCOs will conduct statutory audits, hold annual general meetings, and account to members on how PDM funds are being utilized. This is your opportunity to shape the future of your community. Please go and register with your SACCO. Do not stay behind. Participate in the elections. Demand accountability. Support transparency. Together, we can build stronger PDM SACCOs and transform households into the money economy. For more information, contact your parish chief, district commercial officer, or local government leaders. This message is brought to you by the Government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government and the PDM Secretariat.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to NBS Live at 9. And now, Uganda has experienced several Ebola outbreaks over the past 2 decades. But scientists say the latest outbreak has provided something they have never seen before. They say the current outbreak is not just another epidemic to contain, but uncovered the new scientific evidence that could change how future outbreaks are investigated and controlled.
The latest Ebola outbreak in Uganda has so far recorded 20 confirmed cases, including 2 deaths with many recoveries. While public attention focused on treatment centers, contact tracing and infection prevention, scientists have been carrying out another investigation inside the laboratory. By analyzing the genetic material of the virus, researchers discovered that the outbreak was most likely caused by a fresh spillover event from wildlife into humans rather than months of undetected human-to-human transmission. This is a finding that is shaping the country's understanding of how Ebola outbreaks can begin.
The building block of the genetic material of viruses is known as nucleotides of that RNA. So the RNA is made up of small blocks, what we call nucleotides. But even in the same species, within the same species, let's say of Bundibujo, there can be a difference in the arrangement of these nucleotides or their assembly within the same species. So you have, let's say, a virus A, B, and C that belong to the same species, but you might have a difference in the arrangement of the nucleotides or the assembly of the nucleotides within the same species. And that's known as mutation.
According to him, genomic sequencing allows scientists to read the virus genetic code. The technology helps determine whether infections are linked, identify where the virus originated, monitor how it changes over time, and establish whether new cases are part of the ongoing transmission or represent a completely new introduction. Public health experts say this information has become one of the most powerful tools in modern outbreak investigations. The lab manager of the Central Emergency Response and Surveillance Lab in Wandegear, Dr. Andrew Nsao Teba, says Uganda's laboratory capacity has expanded significantly in the recent years, making it possible to produce this level of scientific evidence during outbreaks.
It shows that we have grown as a country. First of all, we are able to put out the results from genomic sequencing within 48 hours from when the outbreak occurred. It takes days for countries to do genomic sequencing, many countries to do genomic sequencing and to be able to have an output of genomic results. And this is the second time we are seeing it. Last year's Ebola Sudan outbreak, within 24 hours, we are able to release both results of detecting Ebola Sudan, but also the results from genomic sequencing.
He says the virus responsible for the latest outbreak was genetically different from viruses that caused Ebola outbreaks in 2007, 2008, and 2012, demonstrating that every outbreak must be investigated independently.
It was detected through genomics, how we were able to even confirm that this is a fresh spillover. You realize that PCR was able to tell us this is Bundibujo, but when we did genomic sequencing, from our genomics reference lab, we're able to compare the viruses of the previous genome of the 2007 Bundibujo outbreak, the 2012, and then the 2026. And we noticed that there was a difference in the genetic makeup. In fact, there were 216 to 227 nucleotides that were different from the previous outbreak, with a 1.2% genetic difference, divergence from the previous outbreak.
The findings also reinforce the importance of a One Health approach, recognizing that human health, animal health, and environment are closely interconnected. Scientists say if outbreaks begin through repeated spillover events from wildlife, surveillance cannot focus only on hospitals and patients. Monitoring wildlife, strengthening laboratory systems, and rapidly investigating unusual illnesses becomes equally important in preventing future epidemics.
We haven't yet come to the actual source but we have had efforts already to be able to do what we call ecological studies. So part of our response to epidemics includes ecological studies. Last year we did studies in Luwero. This year we moved to Arua. In fact, it's about 3 weeks ago, and we collected over 80 samples from 85 bats. In fact, we picked bats and we collected samples.
Feedback brought to you by.
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
Right. Are you able to pick some feedback off your TikTok live?
I would love to pick some feedback of my TikTok live, but they are not responding. Our feedback's from X.
All right. The question tonight is how can Uganda build the science behind its Ebola response success? How can Uganda build the science behind its Ebola response success? Hashtag NBS Live at 9. Cosmas Amteide says, to build the science behind the widely praised Ebola response success, Uganda must transition from operational excellence in crisis management to becoming a self-sustaining regional hub for biomedical innovation, clinical trials, and genomic research.
Genomic, wow. Mr. Click Regan says Uganda can build on its Ebola response success by strengthening disease surveillance, laboratory capacity, rapid support system, response systems, that is, healthcare worker training, and public health awareness.
Absolutely, I do agree with Regan. And Andrew Obara says we can document and widely publicize our Ebola control experiences with a good brand like Maladi Combat, then document our social clinical methods for training in public health for our medical schools. Is a resemblance of the exact scene where the former Arua Municipality Member of Parliament Ibrahim and Abriga and his brother were shot. 8 years later, the family of the two are asking what exactly happened on the D-Day. Who is responsible? Who are these unknown assailants that shot Abriga and his brother? Police say they have launched investigations into the matter, but 8 years later, they have not yielded any results. Now, we take you back to what exactly happened at this exact scene 8 years ago, just to let you in and give you perspective of what happened on that fateful day. This is NBS X-Files.
People are talking about you being under threats of beating you up in Arua.
I've never seen, I've not even heard anything. But you people of this journalists are the one making mess.
The Yellow Man, as was commonly referred to, was an ardent supporter of the National Resistance Movement, a party he religiously supported through his lifestyle.
Like now, if we are here and I'm a member of NRM, why do we hide? Why do we hide? You should be opening. This one should be yellow. Everything should be yellow. Even underpants should be yellow. Everything should be yellow.
His affiliation to NRM ridiculed some members and made some strong criticism.
Some of you were here. You saw what happened.
That's why we're asking you.
You can tell us what has happened. That's the reason why I want to die behind this thing. Where it will go, if it did not succeed, I'm retiring from Parliament. Because for us now, we are going to extend this age limit so that presidents continue. That's what we are now going to fight. Only that one. Let them be patient. Let them be patient. We are coming. Things are coming. Uganda is not going anywhere. Uganda is here. We are here. Then it will be we who will perish one by one, dying one by one. I die tomorrow, you, the other one, the other one.
On June 8, 2018, Abiriga was not lucky enough to drive further his yellow Beetle. While on his way home in Chirinyabigo village in Kawanda, Wakiso district, Abiriga was ambushed and shot at along with his personal bodyguard, Said Kongo Bugo.
We have our team from the scene of crime officers, our general duties, and also our field force unit.
News that spread and shook the entire country.
Amasasi wegavugidde. Of course, abadde like bullet nga 10. Abiriga waffe abadde mubaka w'abantu.
His killing got attention of the Commander-in-Chief and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who promised expeditious action against his killers.
I am sad, I am angry, but I'm confident. And they have opened the war, they have killed our people. They are going to see what the NRM means in war.
Abiga enarebo. Abiga
This tree trunk is the reminder of the horror that took place on the 8th of June 2018 when the late Colonel Ibrahim Abiriga, together with his bodyguard, who was also his brother, was shot dead. To date, the family still waits on justice, wondering who was behind their murder and if they'll be brought to book.
8 years later, there are several unanswered questions and missing parts of the puzzle. Who killed Abiriga and why did this file go cold?
The whole of this month I've been praying these things to stop. Every night I woke up, say to God, please God, stop all these things.
The late Ibrahim Abiriga was a Muslim man and survived with 5 official wives. We visited one of his widows, Madina Nabatanzi, at the latest home in Kawanda. Madina is still struggling with the death of her husband.
Bawange yafudde abantu bamuse paka kati tutumumanyi bani bamuse Katonda yekka yamanyi.
Madina's unanswered questions are equally shared with Amina Sijali, Abiriga's widow based in Arua.
Because since Abiriga died, the investigation was on, but up now they have not given us any information about it.
In this dilapidated house is where she and her children reside, with broken windows, a ceiling that is about to collapse. This structure that has existed since 1931 may fall anytime.
So we family wanted to know the truth, if they have any clue, so that we can also follow this, so that he also get what? Justice.
Amina still hangs on the memories of her late husband.
I thank God he's there resting in peace. He should continue resting in peace. I was happy with him until they came and took his life.
This one was now the airfield. This was during transportation here.
And all the widows look at Abubakari Tako, Abiriga's young brother, as the only hope for survival.
This was Kololo. Kololo when now they are...
Tako took over the duty of caring for the family. He has relentlessly tried to chase for his brother's justice, to no avail.
I carried the money here by forcefully. He had refused. He wants to give that money to people. I carried the money, I ran with it to Arua.
They don't know who are the voters, who are the power belongs to the people. If you leave people alone, you don't go to them. You see, even giving 1,000 to people, they say this is bribe. You are a leader. People must eat something from you. You are a leader. People must eat at home, at your home. That's what we mean.
We exchanged the battle with him, but later we reconciled as brothers. Later he saw what I was doing was right. Because my point was, tomorrow if you die with this world that knows you, where are they going to put your body? That was where his body was arrested. We need justice for the what? Brutal murder of our brothers. Up to today, that justice, we have not received it. It is painful to our heart.
However, the family is getting overwhelmed both financially and emotionally.
This is still in Arua. Yes, truly, finances are a bit challenging because if somebody who has been managing is not there, finances definitely becomes a big problem.
Life for the late Abiriga's family gets more challenging day by day and creating divisions over property as some are contemplating selling off some of the main assets.
There was a rumors that some people wanted to come and sell off this land, including even our family members. When we heard that, we had a family meeting. We made the resolutions. The resolutions we made, we said it with the DPC Kawanda.
But quite interesting is the unwavering support for the NRM. The family still flies the yellow flag high. Lokman Ibrahim is one of the 9 orphans for the late Abiriga. Lokman doesn't nurse political ambitions, but pays strong allegiance to NRM.
The inspiration he gave us that yellow is the best color for us as a family to show his gratefulness to the president.
It's only that we don't have the finances, so that we will even love to move yellow, to sleep yellow, to eat yellow.
It's a blood feeling, but quite disturbing is why they now feel the same government in power has not supported enough their call for justice for their fallen father. Ever since his death, there has been no major breakthrough by the police on apprehending the killers. Police is, however, still open to any information that supports the investigation.
There has not been any very new progress beyond what we last briefed public when we last commented about this matter.
Some of the challenges that caused the case to stall, CID reported that after analyzing the scene in Kawanda, they had no technical footprint or physical evidence left by the hitmen. Forensic dead ends, ISO and police spent months tracking a phone found at the scene and detained the 19-year-old. But after data analysis and interrogation, it was discovered he was a bystander who had rushed to the scene after the incident, effectively derailing the progress in the investigations. Untraceable hitman methodology, where the killers used border borders to flee the scene after committing the crime. This made it difficult to have any reasonable information on the model or plates of the motorcycle. Family property and inheritance distractions also changed the focus of the case after the latest widows started to fight over property in Kawanda. On Abiriga Ibrahim Yusuf Abdallah, he rose through the ranks as an army officer to become a colonel. He was in the Uganda Army under Idi Amin Dada between 1971 and 1976. He joined as a juvenile recruit at 15 years old and served within the Secret Service at Machinde Military Police in Kampala and attained the rank of Staff Sergeant. After Amin's downfall, Abiriga joined Uganda National Rescue Front, a rebel outfit which was commanded by Moses Ali as an intelligence officer between 1980 to 1986. He joined the National Resistance Army in 1986 to 1995 when it was transformed into Uganda People's Defence Forces. He retired at the rank of colonel and he later became RDC of Yumbe and Arua districts before becoming a member of parliament. He's remembered as a quiet, joyous and carefree person who, even in the middle of a storm, would stay calm.
As a man with a clean heart, Abiriga loved everybody.
But Abiriga was a special member of parliament, whom we all respected and loved.
Abiriga is not the first high-profile Ugandan to be assassinated in a shooting. Others, including Joan Kagezi, Andrew Felix Kawes, and Muhammad Chirumira, were killed in similar circumstances. However, unlike those cases where suspects were eventually arrested and charged, no one has been arrested in connection with the killing of Abiriga and his brother, Said Kongo Buga.
But these ones of ours up to today.
I cannot lie you that I have the facts at the moment. But if there was to be any, I would issue them.
It is painful to our heart.
For me, in my constituency, I don't give 1,000 to a person or 5,000 to a person. I must give something to a person to make sure the children are satisfied, is satisfied. From 20 20,000 onwards.
The family continues to wait for answers and reflecting on the last days of his life.
Eight years later, no justice. That must be very painful
it has to
for
be
the family.
Very painful, especially when you've lost somebody just like that.
In such a manner, assassinated.
Absolutely.
NBS Live at 9 takes a break.
Can I have a light, please? What is this?
Castor Light, the best testing light.
Try it.
Try it, try it, try it. Da, 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 da.
Guys, look at this post.
Nothing hits like extra cool. Castor Light. Try it.
Kabalega Petro-Base Industrial Park. Imagine your business at the heart of East Africa's next industrial revolution. Welcome to Kabalega Petro-Base Industrial Park, Uganda's eco-industrial hub spanning over 7,300 acres in Hoima, home to the Uganda Refinery, the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, and Kabalega International Airport. KIP places investors at the center of Uganda's energy transformation. KIP presents investment opportunities in petrochemicals, manufacturing, agro-processing, logistics, warehousing, real estate, commercial, hospitality, ICT, and industrial services. Join us for the official launch on 7th July 2026, live on NBS TV and streamed on YouTube and social media starting at 8 a.m. Secure your place in Uganda's industrial future. Mukaije, Karibu, Uganda welcomes you. Kabalega Petro-Base Industrial Park, a project by the Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches on 4 dedicated channels, live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
You need a bigger space to grow your business. You need to be ready for any season.
You need faster checkouts for these busy days.
You need more equipment to meet demand.
You need to make sure everyone gets paid on time.
In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
In a world that's always changing, the foundations of trust must stay strong. For over 60 years, we've built the minds that build trust, shaping the professionals who carry confidence into boardrooms, communities, and lives. Because trust doesn't happen by chance, it's built, tested, and taught. As the world moves forward, so do we, blending data, innovation, and human insight to prepare the next generation of industry leaders.
Insurance Training College in Uganda, enhancing professionalism.
How do you make a party? You take time to prepare, to bring all the pieces together, to craft it right. The result, great refreshment. And that makes it time well spent. Club, brewed longer for longer refreshment.
Carrying cash can be stressful. The I&M Bank multi-currency prepaid card makes paying smart and simple. Load and spend confidently in 9 currencies: Ugandan shilling, Kenyan shilling, Tanzanian shilling, Rwandan franc, Indian rupees, United States dollar, British pound, euro, and South African rand. Enjoy safe, simple payments wherever you go. The I&M Bank multi-currency prepaid card is open to everyone, whether you have an I&M Bank account or not. Get yours today and pay confidently worldwide in 9 currencies.
I&M Bank Uganda Limited is regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million shillings. Terms and conditions apply.
I&M Bank, on your side.
MTN voice bundle. Ay. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later. Hey, Mama.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21 hash and get your free minutes bully daily. Free or fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
Welcome back. The former leader of opposition in Parliament, Winnie Chiza, has cautioned women members of Parliament not to neglect their homes, warning that if they fail to be careful, they may find their marriages broken. Speaking while mentoring women MPs in the 12th Parliament, Winnie Chiza said many women MPs have lost their marriages because they become big shots after winning parliamentary seats.
On Monday, women members of Parliament under their body gathered for a special training session to mentor them on how to prioritize issues affecting women and girls as they execute their duties in the 12th Parliament.
So let us not be silent.
Outgoing WOPA chairperson Sarah Pendi expressed dissatisfaction over the still low number of women in leadership, but urged women MPs in the 12th Parliament to put women's issues on the agenda during debates.
So I want to appeal to the 12th members of the Parliament to acquaint yourselves with these pieces of legislation. Most importantly, the Session Amendment Act, which is most recent. I know the DA and others have been there. And also there will be need for some amendments in some of these pieces of legislations.
Then they negotiated with us, saying you take the deputy, we take the chair. Then they also came for the deputy.
State Minister for Public Service Lydia Wanyoto said it was painful for women MPs to see Parliament leadership taken over by men and requested that when committee and Parliament Commission leadership is elected, women should be prioritized.
All is not lost. I want to request WOPA after today, now that we have a formal institution of women in Parliament, let's at least have 2 parliamentary commissioners who are women. Because NRM, we still have our 3. The process is on. And I know women who have applied to join the Parliamentary Commission. We want women to be on the table of the Parliamentary Commission.
Each one of us here has a family. And while we were campaigning, we were parading our families. To us, the women, they would even ask us, are you married?
Winnie Kiza, the former woman MP for Kasese and former leader of opposition, used the opportunity to advise women MPs to give time to their families because they have received many complaints that once women win parliamentary seats, they become strangers at home and many marriages collapse.
But during these 5 years, how are you going to ensure that you are still in good books with your family, that when the constituents say no to you, you will still find a solid family? Because whether you like it or not, your family is the only asset that you have, that you will go back to when everything else has failed. So ensure you create time for your family.
Just advise them to get people they trust to represent them at some functions to avoid functions that can overwhelm them.
You are having an activity in one of the churches, then you have an activity at a funeral, you have an activity in a wedding, and you want to be everywhere. You will break down. Have some bit of trust. Have some trusted people that you can equip with the capability to represent you, so that at some point you can sit down and relax.
Speaker of Parliament, Jacob both has appealed to Ugandans to keep him in prayer, revealing that his new office has become the target of individuals he says are using witchcraft and other schemes to undermine his leadership. The emotional appeal came during his first public appearance in West Dama Central since his election as Speaker, where he also reflected on his humble journey to the country's third highest office and called for the renewed efforts to fight corruption.
Hundreds of residents from West Dama Central thronged Mamua Primary School after learning that their area member of parliament, now Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Maxon both would be attending a church confirmation service led by the Bishop of Boke Diocese, Reverend Samuel Bogeregesa. It was Speaker both's first appearance in his constituency since his election as Speaker. Although he arrived in Tororo on Friday, he deliberately kept a low profile, avoiding his electorates because of concerns over large crowds amid the Ebola outbreak. Overcome by emotion, the Speaker broke down in tears as he narrated the overwhelming reception he received from his constituents, many of whom camped at his home until late into the night simply to celebrate this achievement.
I stayed in Tororo today because I didn't want people to have processions. I kept around here. But I put people waiting through their means, they got to know. They have went to some of the security. So we gave some food, a lot of food. 50% refused to eat. They were just dancing, crying.
The Speaker disclosed that his new office has now come with enormous challenges, revealing that some people are plotting against him and even resorting to witchcraft. He maintained that his faith in God remained unshaken and appealed to the public to continue praying for him.
And some of them who are involved in the work, they would rather stop. Because I believe God is the one who takes faith on my side. If you continue, those who have tried, they have failed. And failed means
turning to the fight against corruption, both challenged leaders and residents of Tororo to support the national anti-corruption campaign, saying he cannot effectively champion accountability in Parliament if corruption continues to thrive in his own district.
From Parliament, it should not be Tororo, again, anywhere that they are talking about corruption in district or giving of jobs you buy. Really, because that's what I'm fixing at the other side. So we want a clean background.
Bishop of Boke Diocese and members of Parliament from Tororo pledged their support to the Speaker, describing corruption as one of the greatest obstacles to the country's development and urging leaders to embrace integrity.
I want to believe that corruption has hindered holistic development of this country.
Meanwhile, police have recovered more than 100 stolen iPhones and several Samsung phones in an operation targeting a syndicate accused of smuggling stolen mobile phones to Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Several suspects have been arrested.
Police have dismantled an alleged cross-border network involved in the trafficking of
stolen mobile phones after recovering more than 100 iPhones and several Samsung devices during an intelligence-led operation. According to the Deputy Kala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Luke Owaisiji,
Crime Intelligence Directorate conducted an operation that yielded into the recovery of phones. Overall, there are about 143 phones, iPhone, and they were recovered in an operation.
The recovered ones are believed to have been stolen from members of the public, mainly and other busy places around Kampala. The three suspects have been arrested in connection with the racket. They include Msimede, also known as Guna, a phone dealer at Kalunji Plaza, and two Rwandan nationals, Niyonzima Fabrice, also known as Sadat, and Ntoko Ime.
The one Msimede was arrested. Msimede, aka Guna, who was found with his phones in back. We also arrested other two suspects who were found with phones. One Niyonzima Fabrice was found with 6 phones, and another.
Police say the suspects admitted buying the phones from thieves before arranging to transport them to Rwanda in the Democratic Republic of Congo resale.
We got information that he had just deposited some phones on the bus to go to Rwanda and Congo, where they were going to be sold. All these suspects confessed.
Investigators also recovered bags that were allegedly being used to transport the stolen phones across the border. Police have so far traced about 20 of the recovered iPhones to their rightful owners. The remaining phones are being kept at Central Police Station, Kampala, and members of the public who have lost iPhones are encouraged to visit the station with proof of ownership to verify whether the device has been recovered. Police say operations against mobile phone thieves and dealers in stolen devices will continue and have urged the public to report phone theft immediately and avoid buying phones from suspicious sources.
Members of the public to deal with genuine people, genuine parties, genuine sellers or suppliers, rather than dealing with thieves who have made it a habit to sell these phones.
As the government moves to promote commercial agriculture, sector players are encouraging farmers to embrace cooperatives as a way of improving the production chain, ease access to reliable markets, and increasing household income.
While many farmers still work on their own, joining groups offers stronger benefits. Collectively, farmers can negotiate better market prices, cut production costs through shared inputs and access training, financing, and markets that are often out of reach for individuals.
But the moment you want it to be commercial, you want it to be profitable, you have to do collective goat farming. And when the numbers grow past 100, that is when you can break even. If the numbers grow better, that is when you can make better profits.
Beyond marketing, experts say group farming also enables farmers to invest in improved livestock breeds, leading to better productivity and higher quality meat that meets market demand.
If you go to countries like Kenya, they are exporting close to 28% of the entire meat in the GCC countries. Why? Because they have cooperatives. Not they have many goats, they have cooperatives. Today they can send you for 1,000 goats. If you don't come to YPA, you will not see those 1,000 goats for sale.
The visit also included a guided tour of the YPA demonstration farm, where members of parliament joined farmers to observe different livestock enterprises, improved breeds, and modern farming practices being promoted at the farm.
Projects like this one, I have admired, and I am going to be a member of YPA, and also contribute to the development of the project.
Yeah. What I found out from here, you can save here. If you save here, you get more money than getting from the bank, and your money is safe.
The managing director at Youth Platform Africa, Obed Ben, believes that once farmers work in groups, they will be in position to raise better quality animals and have access to a ready market, and eventually transform Uganda's agricultural sector and consequently improve their incomes.
A European Union-funded initiative has helped more than 40 young Ugandan creatives strengthening their businesses through entrepreneurship training, mentorship, and improved market access. According to the Africa Managing Director Nunu Mujenyi Kalisa, the The initiative supports emerging creatives, particularly in the fashion industry, through business development and capacity building programs.
2022 and 2023, Bold in Africa implemented the Bold Leadership Program under the EU-funded Ignite Culture Program, training 40 women entrepreneurs under the age of 35 through 4 cohorts. Participants received training in business management, financial sustainability, and entrepreneurship, alongside one-on-one mentorship designed to help them transform informal creative ventures into viable businesses. Bold in Africa Managing Director Nuno Mojonyo Kalisa says beneficiaries also gained access to local and international markets through an e-commerce platform.
Increasing sales, increasing capacity. We saw a lot of pivoting in their business models so that people were no longer running these businesses as passion projects and now started running them like real businesses.
Kalisa says the project also strengthened the institutional capacity, Bold in Africa, by equipping staff with experience in grant management, accountability, and donor reporting.
So under this particular project, we worked with 40 beneficiaries. To date, we've worked with over 150. So even after this project came to an end, we are fortunate to have been able to continue running similar projects with other organizations for the impact to continue to date.
Despite the progress, Kalisa says Ugandan fashion entrepreneurs continue to face significant barriers in accessing international markets.
Consistency of finishing, because a lot of us are dealing with small businesses that have relatively small production capacities and are not in mass manufacturing. So sometimes there's inconsistencies in pieces, which is fine if you're physically walking into a place and buying something, but it gets tricky when you start to ship across the world with the finishing issue.
Social Spotlight, what are your leaders saying online? Let's begin with the president, who says today, at the first cabinet meeting of the new administration following the successful cabinet induction writ at Chankwanzi. I urged the ministers to remain focused on disciplined implementation, accountability and efficient service delivery as we work to fulfill the NRM's commitment of securing Uganda's socio-economic transformation over the next 5 years.
President is busy. Well, Antonio Guterres says terrorism is evolving, exploiting emerging technologies, including AI, digital platforms, and unnamed weapons, and no nation can address it alone. We must strengthen prevention, cooperation, and our commitment to human rights to build a safer world where people live free from fear. Sounds very specific, isn't it?
Yeah, but the word is unmanned. I wonder
unmanned, yes, of course.
I wonder whether it is unwomaned weapons. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back here. Victoria Sibio will be giving you, I should add the third name.
Yes, Victoria Sibatani. We'll be back here with the business.
The Ministry of Health informs the public to remain vigilant against Ebola virus disease. Symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, fever, and body weakness. If you or someone you know develops these symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. Protect yourself and others by avoiding handshakes and unnecessary physical contact, washing your hands regularly with soap and water, or using an alcohol-based sanitizer. Cleaning frequently touched surfaces and avoid direct contact with infected persons' body fluids like vomit, stool, sweat, and urine. To report a suspected Ebola case, send an SMS to 6767 and type alert or call the toll-free number 0800-100-066. Report early, protect lives.
Sometimes escape begins above the clouds, where peace waits beneath the trees. Here nature invites you to breathe, to reconnect, to feel alive again. Where all welcomes feel as natural as the forest around you. Resort Ways, where nature welcomes you home.
Start something new, something uplifting, something so effortless and golden. A thirst-quenching burst of sweetness and malty flavor. So rich and full of memories. It's 100% taste, zero alcohol. Try it. Savor it. Feel it elevate every moment. Sip after sip, gulp after gulp. After all, life's about turning ordinary thrills into golden chills.
Start something malty with the new Evervest Malt Apple and Pineapple. Try the burst of sweetness and malty flavor. It's 100% taste, zero alcohol. Available in a shop or supermarket near you. Evervest Malt. Make every moment golden. Evervest Malt is from the makers of PepsiCo.
Hey, travelers! Are you a family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom! Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelcom.co.ug. Contact us on 020-5000123.
Before the headlines, there's the quiet work of confidence. The faces you trust are styled by the hands we trust. Because beauty isn't just seen, it's felt. Alaya Hair and Beauty.